the will of the commission, if in fact we want them to spend the time to do that. So basically, I would just make a motion that says something to the effect of... Just bear with me a second. All right, so, and then I'll just open it for discussion, but something along the lines of, whereas Rye Town Park resides in the city of Rye, the Rye Town Park Commission authorizes the mayor of Rye to have Rye City staff conduct an analysis of shared service recommendations to support park operations to be reviewed by the commission for approval and implementation as it deems necessary. So this is just authorizing the city of Rye to conduct an analysis, and that it's the will of this body to say, sure, go ahead and we'll take a look, but it's not approving anything specific.
I'll certainly make that motion since it's something...
So you like the language?
I like the language.
Okay.
It's broad,
Right.
but I think the intent is quite clear that we're trying to look at any sort of economies, at least study any sort of shared functions and shared services. I think that is the intent.
Commissioner Sack.
I would second the motion.
Okay, and just on the question or comment, the Bishop,
Yep.
just prep the finance team that the city of Rye is going to be asking for documentation, just so in anticipation, because they're not going to be able to do a comprehensive analysis or even a basic analysis without having the right numbers in place. Okay, right?
Yeah, I don't know if it would be on your side or just from our side, from a cost perspective, what it would cost us to do X, and then you can compare it with your numbers, but there may be some overlap.
I could see a series of perhaps even 2 or 3 meetings where first we establish what we want to look at,
Right.
and then we try to quantify what that costs, and at that point, opportunities, I think, will bubble up to the surface.
Right.
That's good. And Mayor Feinstein has said it in the past, in today's economy, our fiduciary responsibility is to find all avenues, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so
Do we have a motion?
We have a motion and a
And
second.
a second, okay. Commissioner Sack?
Yes.
Mayor Feinstein?
Yes.
Mayor French?
Yes.
Deputy Supervisor Villanova?
Yes.
Okay. I
Anything-
also have one more piece of old business.
Go ahead.
The commission had asked for at least some indication of what we were doing for events, and events that perhaps were not paying the full amount required. So what we've produced is a listing. It covers 2009 season as well as the 2010 season. You'll see a list. It's mostly nonprofit groups, not-for-profit groups, if you will, Rye City Recreation, Portchester Recreation, various schools, churches, etc., that have accessed the park for a variety of events. Schools, for example, when they access the beach, they want their children to access the beach, we charge them $2 a student, typically. Most of the other fees are waived. But you have things like the Elks Club is in there, I think the Rotary Club is in there, the Chamber of Commerce is in there. So there are any number of groups that are using the facilities that perhaps the Commission may want to reevaluate in terms of what kind of policy you would like to have there. Again, we've been acting absent policy. There is nothing written down that says what we've done is we've taken what's been done historically and tried to maintain it to some degree.
Perfect. Thank you, Bishop. Anything else under old business?
The only thing that's under old business is 2 things, I guess. No, that's old business is dogs on leashes. I know we talked about it earlier in the meeting. I'm not quite sure what that means, but understand you still haven't decided on a beach policy for dogs. I thought the consensus was no, and we've been operating on that basis. But the commission, I don't think, has actually taken a stand-up vote and said yes or no.
My position was if we had a pilot in place, we would keep it in place until the commission said not to. However, since I've talked to County Legislator Judy Myers, since they have opened up Playland Beach,
Right.
which basically provides the same level of service, and I have talked to some of the dog owners, and yes, there were some particulars, I guess, with our beach that were a little bit better than the Playland Beach, but the basic needs are still being met. I would be in favor of just not doing the pilot going forward.
I agree.
Since we have Playland Beach open.
Any additional comment? I agree.
So should we vote on that then to not do the pilot?
Very good. I'll entertain a motion to not do the pilot for the dogs on the beach.
Why do you need to?
Oh, so
I think you would have to vote in the affirmative
okay.
Okay, so just leave it?
create a policy.
Yep. Okay.
Absent a vote,
Just dies.
There's nothing. Very
Right.
good. And then obviously just to follow up, the dogs off leashes is really something. I mean, given everything that's happening, I really don't think going forward for 2011, dogs off leashes is something that the Rye Town Park Commission can afford. And obviously, I'm sure you'll want to have the entire board present to make some kind of formal decision. But I think it's a decision that needs to be had. And if a dog is in the park, it needs to be on a leash. So that's that. Bishop, new business?
I
You had
have
something?
one piece of new business, and that is a recommendation being made, a request being made that Rye Town Park consider joining the City of Rye Chamber of Commerce.
That was my suggestion.
That's a good suggestion. I like it.
I think it
Okay.
would be good public relations, and I think the park would benefit. Now, I think I underestimated the dues. I think for an organization such as ours, it might be as much as $200 a year. But right away, we would get listed in they have a really nice brochure that lists all the different member organizations. So already they're using a picture of our park as part of their promotion.
Without our permission.
Without our permission.
That costs at least $200.
I agree. I agree. Well, actually, something that could happen is that we can establish membership through in-kind service. If they want to, I mean, I'm not being silly about it. I'm being serious. So
They need the money.
They might want to have an annual party to win.
yeah, and we can provide them that. So, but I think it's a great opportunity anyway. It's
Make a motion?
Yeah.
Before the motion is made, there is a Portchester Rye Brook Chamber of Commerce which has not made this request. But would you want to entertain both of them? Fee structure is about the same, by the way. I don't know if that has value or not.
Well, I think we want to draw Rye Town residents to
I think
Rye
that's
Town
what we should.
Park. I think any outreach is
Definitely.
yeah.
I think it's a good idea. I think it's we talk about municipality aside, it's a good business practice. So it's creating exposure for the Rye Town Park and possibly the opportunity to bring in new people. So
The Portchester Chamber does have a party. One of the
Yeah, I think
Okay.
they're on your list, actually.
very good. I think it's a great motion. So we have a motion from Mayor French.
Well,
Motion to join the three Chamber of Commerces.
Well, two.
okay, there's
Second.
two.
Okay.
Yeah,
PC
Portchester
Rye
Rye
Brook
Brook
is
is one.
combined.
Okay.
Okay,
Shared services.
all right. Second?
Yeah.
I'll second that.
Okay. Commissioner Sack?
Yes.
Feinstein?
Yes.
Mayor French?
Yes.
And Deputy Supervisor Villanova?
Yes.
Bill, do you go to the not-for-profit council representing Rye Town Park?
No, actually, I've been going there representing environmental advocates.
Okay.
Where that has.
I think you should, because I think that's a good network for those groups to use the park as well. And
Yes.
Okay, you're at the end of your agenda.
We just, as we're heading in, we have to get dates together, but can we think about putting together, as you said, a calendar of dates for 2011 for our
Okay.
commission
Including
meetings?
Mother's Day.
right. And it's locked in.
Yeah.
That's it. I want to thank Deputy Supervisor Villanova. This is the second meeting, it's the third meeting you've run, but second in a row. And I'm a big fan of Mr. Carr, and he and I are getting to be very good friends, but you run a much better meeting.
Thank you.
That's on the record.
Thank you. You flatter me. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Very good. Roll. Very good.
Thank you. Have a good night.